Go ahead.
Texas Paracon.
Texas Paracon.
Texas Paracon Talks.
I heard 8 again.
Texas Paracon.
The Texas Paracon.
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 Dallas, Texas Paracon.
Texas Paracon Talks.
Welcome to Texas Paracon Talks. Natalie. And joining me is my George Schopplein. George, how are you tonight?
I'm exceptionally great today. I am so happy right now. My volume's about a 2, and when anybody asks me a question, I'll drag it on for hours, but I'm so happy to be here tonight. I needed this. I needed this tonight. Thank you for having me, Natalie.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a really great show in line planned tonight. We've got Brad Cooney and John Bullard from The House in Between.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. They're awesome guys,
Yes.
man.
And if you have not seen The House in Between yet, then you're missing out. And it's just now. You can watch it through your Amazon Prime subscription as well. It's on multiple platforms. It's been a #1 chart topper this year. So again, we're so excited to have John and Brad on tonight. So without further ado, let's bring them on. What
Absolutely.
do you say?
I'm excited. I've never gotten this opportunity to talk with these two. I love it. There's Johnny. And there's Brad. There they are. Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
What's up, man?
How are you guys doing?
Well, good evening, everybody.
Doing
Yeah,
good.
thank y'all for having us tonight. We appreciate y'all having us on. We're looking forward to the Paracon in 2021. Hopefully all this COVID will go away. We can have an amazing event, and we're pumped about that.
Yes, indeed. I know.
Yeah. It's Texas Paracon. Great.
Looks like there's a big
Go
delay.
ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I think Natalie has a little bit of a lag in her audio.
Just a little one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll go ahead, and I don't want to speak out of turn, so I just want to say this tonight to John and Brad. Seriously, I have never met you guys. I only see you on a daily basis on Facebook. I'm excited as a paranormal investigator or just a person in the paranormal. I'm excited to meet you both in person. I promise to be very low key. I promise to just be a fan and a friend of you guys. But I watch you guys on a daily, man. How are you guys doing though outside of life and all this stuff with this COVID? How's that affecting you guys?
You want to go, John? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. It's obviously a transition and trying to stay safe. And I do marketing as my job, so I travel all over the state where I'm at. So it's just trying to be safe, be secure, and wear your mask, do your due diligence, and take care of everybody else. And whenever you're doing investigating, obviously, whenever I do solo locations, we're doing an investigation. It's a little easier, obviously, if you're not doing an event. But life has to go on, and this has been going on for months now, and there's really no end in sight. So it's learning to adapt to the situation.
All right. How about you, Brad?
Yeah, pretty much echo what John said. Mississippi's like a lot of states, we're having like a second surge of this COVID thing going on now, and a lot of our high schools are shutting down again. So I'm just trying to, be smart and do my social distancing as best as I can, and wear my mask when I have to, and Yeah, man, just trying to deal with this COVID thing. But other than that, all's good, man. Hey, and by the way, thanks for the kind words, man. It's nice to meet you too, brother.
I appreciate that. Natalie, this is your show, young lady. I don't want to step on your toes. So please take it away if you like to, Nat.
Well, I am just such a huge fan of both you, Brad, and you, John, as well. So, when I first actually saw The House in Between, it was so good. I turned around and I watched it again because there's so many things about the documentary film that it's so intelligent, and there's so many moving parts, and it's just really feel that baseline and rewatch it, and because you may miss certain things the first time around, or it's just that elevated. And I was just curious, how many years have you been investigating The House in Between now?
Which one?
So,
John?
So I'll start, Brad, and then you can follow. So I've been in the paranormal field for 13 years, and about a year and a half into my paranormal career is when I got introduced to Alice. And we didn't do a lot of private residences. We mainly did historical sites. We've done, like the Liskax Murder House, and we've done a lot of really cool places. I've been to Jamaica, and I love history, and that's why I loved going to these big historical places, just to learn the history, walk through and see some of this. If you go to somewhere from like the 1800s, that's old for the United States. But you go outside the United States, and it gets way, way older. So it's always intrigued me. I like learning the history, meeting the people who own the places, how they came to own these locations. And we had me personally, I had a couple bad experiences with some private residences. Me and my two investigators that I worked with for years, we went to a couple locations where like child services should have been called. So it's just one of those things when somebody opens up their home to you, and a private residence is a real personal experience. Like they've gotten to the point where they need some help. And sometimes it's paranormal, sometimes it's supernatural, it's legit. Sometimes it's something they're going through with a marriage or a divorce, and it's like psychological. So you really have to determine, is this something that's true that you can help these people with, or is it not? So I had some bad experiences, so I kind of pushed myself off of private residences for a long time. And a friend of a friend recommended me to Miss Alice, and she wasn't too far away from where I live personally. So I went and met Alice, and I could tell as soon as I met her, she was genuine, and what she was experiencing was real. She was scared. And being inside her home, within the first hour, I had a personal experience myself. So for me, I think I've been doing it now 12 years, which shows my age, I guess. But but what's neat about the House in Between, the Mississippi House, as we call it, is it's almost like a revolving door, because every time you go there, there's different energies. It can go 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 real fast. And sometimes it's very, very aggressive. Sometimes it's more mellow, but it's kind of like a big puzzle. I always tell people, and every time we find a piece, I feel like it has 3 more pieces to go along with that. So it's just kind of an ever evolving situation. And that's why it's been able to keep my attention for over a decade.
All right. It's kind of like what you just said. I don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize. It's like an onion. An onion has so many layers. And as you keep on peeling back, you're always finding something more and more. Now, I saw the documentary at least a half a dozen times now, at least. And, I will say this, and I've said this many times, but that brought my mom and I together closer as a son and a mom, because my mom, the meaning, and I have to let you guys know how much you mean to me, because I come from a Catholic family, and what it was is you just don't talk about things around the house, around the table of dinner. And when we watched it, my mom watched it with me, and she said, "Wow, now I see why you fell in love with the paranormal on just that, what you guys did." And she was so blown away about the baseball, and she was just. I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm not going to say words that are not true. I'm just saying thank you so much, because when it come to the paranormal, I'm able to share it with my mom and my dad, of course. But what you guys did so perfectly and professional has created for me a great relationship with my mom and I, if I could just throw that in.
That's awesome.
That's great to hear. Yeah, it is. And this, this was such a big project, because I've been in it for over a decade, and then Brad came in and really just changed the game with me as well, because once you're at a location for so long, you need another set of eyes and another mindset to come in and kind of look at things with a different lens. And that's what Brad did. And Brad caught so much implemental stuff when we started including the cameras in the house. And then getting Steve involved obviously was a huge game changer. And then Kendall coming on board with the cinematography and Vera as well. And it was just a perfect storm with everybody involved and all the different things that everybody had, put together. I mean, the cinematography is such a beautifully shot documentary. And what you're saying and what so many people have told us is the most common thing, Brad, I think you can agree that we hear is that people watch it over and over again. And that's what's awesome, is not that you just watch it one time and walk away, but our mindset was less is more. We wanted you to be able to capture stuff. I mean, there's some paranormal stuff in the film that we didn't highlight. You just have to watch to catch it yourself, because we didn't want it to be just about the supernatural, paranormal, and a jump scare. We wanted it to be about human interest and science mixed in with the supernatural. And I think you can tell the authenticity of everybody involved. And I think that's why it's been so successful.
Yeah, very much. I love it. I like
absolutely.
You said. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying
George,
not to stop. I'm trying not to stop on anybody's toes. I do. If there's a little bit of a delay. No, I just wanted to, like you said, I wanted, before I interrupt again, is you need to watch it over and over again, because you always find something like, oh my God, how did I miss that the first time around? That's what I'm saying. It's well done. It was done perfectly. And I apologize if I just interrupted anybody on this delay. I apologize.
No, you're good. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I've been investigating the house for 5 years now. Mm-hmm. It's really crazy. I can't believe it's been 5 years already, but John's been there a lot longer than me. But John, I like what John said in another interview when he described me as hitting the paranormal Powerball, and he's right. He's 100% correct, because previous to me getting involved with Miss Alice in the house, I never investigated paranormal stuff. I've always been interested in it. I've always been interested in UFOs and Bigfoot research and paranormal activity and things like that, but I just happened to get lucky one day. I'm watching TV and saw a local news channel do a segment on Alice's house. And then I saw Erin in the same, Erin's also in the film. I saw her in the segment. So I reached out to her on Facebook, and she connected me with Miss Alice, went down there and met her. And within minutes had experiences, like within minutes of me being in that house. And I never looked back. And it's like 5 years later, I'm in a film with Steve Gonzalez, and it's like globally distributed. So I was like, so John's correct. I hit the Powerball with this thing, man. But I tell you what, I don't take it for granted. I don't take 1 second of it for granted, man.
Right.
I'm very, very blessed.
Well, and Brad, you're so implemental, because let's be honest with me. I consider myself a good investigator, but I'm also lazy at the same time. So it's hard for me to go back and look at all the footage. But Brad is a hawk. He has a hawk eye when it comes to reviewing footage and capturing things. And if you haven't seen the documentary, go watch it. But at the end of the documentary, the last 5 to 10 minutes, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And Brad capturing the huge juggernaut that he did was a game changer to the documentary. And what's neat is, filming it, we didn't have a ton of time filming the documentary. We were trying to be on a tight budget, tight schedule. Mm-hmm. So for the crazy things that had happened while we were filming, I mean, it really is like a paranormal Powerball. I mean, the house works for us, and I know that sounds crazy, but there's something intelligent at that location, and it definitely wanted to make its mark and let the world know that it's relevant and it's real, and it did it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Natalie?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that was one of the really cool things about the film, was how everyone came together and really played that big part in showcasing some really cool things. And I think another part of all of that is that when you're, something new happens like that, for example, the baseball, rolling down the stairs, right when everyone was packing up, and it was just like that aha moment that really made everything come together, and watching it was so cool. So, I mean, has that happened at the house since? Has anything else, rolled down the stairs? Have y'all been trying to do more experiments on that? Brad, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add something about the baseball, which is a pretty cool thing. A lot of people don't know was earlier that day. the cameras that I had set up that shoots up the stairs. Like, first of all, John and I know where our cameras are in there. We're really anal about that stuff. Like, when somebody moves one, I mean, right away we know when somebody moved one. So when I came in that house later on that day, we were shooting the film on and off, and I walked in there, and the first thing I noticed was that camera that normally shoots up the steps was kicked off to the right, and it was aimed towards the couch instead. So I just instinctively just grabbed it and moved it back to where I always wanted, right? Without even thinking. I just, boom, I just moved it. And then I came in and then went on with the day. And when you guys saw the film, of course, when the ball comes down the steps and Kendall freaks out, and me and Steve were actually outside. We were actually heading towards the town historian's little office building where they keep all the archives of the city. And of course, Kendall came screaming out the door. He was screaming at me and Steve and running back in. And you guys saw us coming in the film. You saw us run back in. But if I wouldn't have kicked that camera back on the stairs, we would have never had that footage of the ball coming down. And the reason why they moved that camera was earlier in the day, they were shooting this part of the film when Miss Alice was talking to a local priest. And the priest was on the couch with Alice, so they moved the camera to get a different angle. And I didn't even know that. I had no clue that scene was shot earlier. I just walked in and just naturally put the camera back up the steps. So we got lucky. I mean, that we were able to catch that shot of that ball coming down like that. It was
if I may, it was, and I'm not trying to show like what I know, what I don't know, anything like that. It's not about what I'm about to say, but I played baseball for many years, and I know there's like 186 stitches on a baseball and stuff like that. And I know if anybody hasn't seen this yet, then get out from underneath the rock and you got to watch this 100 times, because a baseball has like a speed bump. And there's absolutely no way for a ball, a baseball, just to roll the way it did.
Right.
It's on that little, the stitching. So when that happened, I remember my mouth was like, oh, did you see that? You know, and and when you say, you don't give yourself enough credit, if you don't mind me saying to you, Brad, because how you did the camera and stuff, that was just because you're a professional. You knew what you were going to do. You knew what you were doing. So it wasn't luck. You just had that gut feeling that everybody's born with, and you did it. And that was the money shot. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it was like I said. It was just I just noticed right away the camera wasn't where I like it. You know what I mean? Because I always have John's the same way. We have two different DVRs in there, and John's got his in there. Then we have the house camera system, and John's the same way with his cameras. And he'll know right away if there's something disheveled or moved, and he just instinctively just fixes it.
Wow, amazing! Just amazing. It's just an amazing.
You spend 10 years in somewhere, you get used to
it. Exactly.
When was the last time you guys were there? How long ago?
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, back to Natalie's question. I monitor the house every day from my house. I mean, I have the phone, the app, have the application where I can monitor the live cameras from here. And every night before I go to bed, I'll pull up each camera shot. I'll look at the live shots, and then I'll do a screenshot of each room. And then the next morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is I open up the house cameras again, and I'll open up the live shot again, and I'll compare the screenshot from the night before to that morning. And if anything's moved, then you know what I got to do. I'm starting to review video again and see if I can see, all right, what happened there. But yes, I've been in there a few times, well, more than a few times, and there still is things. We're still documenting. We're still, saving things. Just in case, the directors decide they want to do another one of these films, we're still rolling with evidence. And I'll turn it over to John. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, Brad, we're still in there. We're still investigating, because there's still a lot of things that we don't know yet. And what's so unique about the house was, if you watch the documentary, the chandelier, I mean, we were in the house for years before we knew that could be triggered or reacted. The first time the chandelier actually shut off, I was doing an EVP session in there with one of my camera guys. All the lights in the house were off. The only light on was the chandelier. And I was doing an EVP session, and I used a trigger name. The light shut off. I got a shock to my back, almost like a dog collar or something like that. I ended up on the floor, super dramatic, and the chandelier shut off at the same time. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so they used the electricity, they shut the light off, and that was what I felt, is what I thought, And it's one of those things where you want it to happen again, but then you never want it to happen again, Then, it intrigued us so much that we're like, okay, if you did it once, let's see if you can mimic it and do it again. And then all of a sudden, we started focusing on the chandelier, and boom, there we go. We started getting direct responses. And what's unique about the chandelier, obviously, if you watch the documentary, we have an electrician come in and check the light switch and all that good stuff, do your due diligence. But me and Brad cannot go to the house for 2 or 3 months, and the chandelier will be on, and it will never go off, ever.
Wow.
The only time the chandelier will react is if you're in there actively investigating and you're talking about it, you get a direct response. It's very interesting.
Wow.
So then we took that, and then that's when we started using the baseball, and we use the baseball like you said. It's heavy. It's got stitching, so if it pivots or moves, you can use it on film and see if it's turning. So that's why we decided to use baseball. And for months we tried it and asked the entities in the house, hey, can you manipulate this? Can you move this? We want nothing more than that baseball to come down the stairs. And for months, I mean, that's a long time. Think about it. It never happened. And all of a sudden, it happened. And it was amazing. And then we started focusing and poking and prodding, and then it happened again and again and again. So we used the term teaching the spirits. And this is the only location that I've ever investigated that I truly feel like whatever is there and attached, we are teaching them how to communicate. And it sounds crazy, but we have it documented, so I guess it's not crazy.
Natalie?
Well, yeah, that is really incredible. Has there been anything else that has happened specifically where you've had the aha moment and you say, this is, oh my gosh, like we're teaching them. This is another example of that. Was there anything else that's kind of happened over the years in that sense?
There is, Brad. I'll let you piggyback after I mention it. But there's definitely something musical that is on the same level, right, Brad?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We have there's an old church organ in there that Miss Alice purchased and a smaller little electronic keyboard. And John, I forgot how many times it was that night, but me and John got direct responses asking it to play by itself. What was like 5 times, I think? Was it 4 or 5 times that night?
It got to be comical, is what it was.
It got so comical. It happened 5 or 6 times. Like every time we asked it to play, it would play, right? It got so ridiculous that I told John, I said, I don't even want to call Kendall. I don't even want to tell him. Because he's going to think we're full of shit. I mean, seriously, I was like apprehensive. I don't know if we should even tell them, man. They're gonna think we're freaking stupid. Like,
right. And we were in the house asking the house to focus on an item that I won't even describe. We were asking the house to focus on an object that we were trying to get to be manipulated. And we were saying, give us a sign that you can understand. We're asking you to do this. This is really important. We really need you to do this for us. And that's the response of like the acknowledgement. And it was a funny day, but yeah, it was one of those things where it's so on point that you're like, I can't even tell anybody this because they're gonna think I'm wacky.
But we're all paranormal people. We kind of are wacky,
That's true. That's true.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, if I can ask this question, I apologize, Natalie. When it comes to Miss Alice, how is she doing living inside the house herself? How is she doing today?
Alice is fine. She doesn't sleep in there by herself, but she'll go there during the day. She wants to look at mail, or because she goes and checks her mail, and sometimes she'll sit and watch TV. And she, so during the day, she will be in there by herself. And sometimes things happen. Like not too long ago, she was in there by herself, and the freaking garage door opened up by itself, like halfway, like for no reason. It scared the hell out of her. She thought it was something in the laundry room, but then she looked in the garage, and the garage door was lifted up halfway. But she won't sleep in there, though, by herself. She will not do that. And that's as a result of those 2. You guys saw the film. She had 2 separate light anomaly events that really, really spooked her. So since then, she still hasn't slept in there by herself.
Wow. That's crazy. Natalie?
Well, I was going to piggyback on that, too. So we had a little meet and greet with some local people about the house in between. And Alice was over there talking to people. And what's cool about it is, from when this started, the process, Alice dealt with this for years, and she was so scared to talk about it because we're in Mississippi, we're in the Bible Belt, you don't want people to think you're crazy. And it's cool to see the transition of her being scared to talk about it through this whole process to actually get her some answers and some clarity, make her feel more comfortable. And then at the meet and greet, have people come over there and like thank her and talk to her. So it's kind of been a really cool revelation to see how open people are and how accepting they are and really supportive of Alice and her story.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's really great. Alice and everyone who has worked on the film, all of you are just equally amazing, and you know, bringing all of that together, and your experiences are so unique. Another thing that was really intriguing to me was the property and the land around the house. It seems that there's really quite a whole other layer going on outside of around the house and on the actual property. Has there been anything recently that has come up as well, Brad?
Not so much as far as investigations of the property. Of course, if you saw the film, you remember that the end there with the dogs, that scene. So you know, we're looking at that. We don't want to really get into that a whole lot right now. But as far as the land goes, I'm pretty convinced that whatever's happening in that house it's definitely land related. The house was built in 1990. It's a pretty modern house, an A-frame house built in 1990, and we know for sure nobody's died in the house, inside the house. No murders, no suicides, not even any natural deaths. But when you look at the history of Mississippi, you can go way back to Native American. There was Choctaw Indians were everywhere around here. And then fast forward to the Civil War. I mean, we had a lot of Civil War battles and skirmishes all throughout Mississippi with, you know, a plethora of deaths through the Civil War. Then, sadly, you know, with the slave history here, there's a lot of unfortunate hangings all over the place. And a lot of them never were documented. Back in them days, they would just hang people and then that was it. They would never, you know, they never made history or anything like that. So there's so many different layers and chapters of the history of this area. It could be anything that's you know, haunting that land.
You know, I have a question. I can't recall, and I do apologize. Where her home is at, Miss Alice's home is at. There's a neighbor next door, right? There's homes like basically.
Yes.
When you come to the land, now I'm digging because I just love what you guys did. But have you guys checked? And I'm sure you have with other neighbors where they've had any type of paranormal.
In the film, there's a lady who talks about the UFO. That's one of her neighbors.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Just amazing.
But it's interesting also because her next door neighbor who is in the film as well, Erin. If you look at her property, who's directly next door, there's a tree line that's straight across, and they've never had any experiences on their property, but right across. Yeah. So Erin used to play on Miss Alice's land when she was a young girl, and she always told Alice for years there was somebody buried in her backyard. So it's just funny, yeah. Like how crazy is that?
Also, Erin's actually also found. She's actually found dead bodies for.
No.
Yeah.
True story. Yep.
Yeah. True story. Yeah.
And Erin is one of these people who she's so genuine, and she's a school teacher, amazing woman. Wow. She doesn't want anything to do with the paranormal. It's just one of those things where she is sensitive, even though she doesn't want to be. And watch the documentary. You know, you see her reaction in the backyard, which we had to coax her to come over to kind of show us where she always told Alice these bodies were buried, and you know.
Wow.
A few days later, bring some cadaver dogs in and validation.
That's important of the timeline of that, because that scene we shot with Erin in the backyard was previous to when the cadaver dogs did their thing in the film.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
So what do we have to look forward to then for the House in Between? Are there any cool events coming up? Is there anything that you can share with us that that we should know about? Because the saga continues.
Yeah, as far as the film or part two, that's still kind of up in the air. I mean, we get asked a lot, like, are you going to do part two? Which is very, you know, we're grateful that we're getting those questions. That means a lot of people like part one, but it's still early. I mean, this film was just released in May. I mean, it's only a few months back, you know, so it's still this film's still doing its thing, and
Mhm.
we'll get around to talking about a part 2. As far as events and things, that's coming right after the new year. We're gonna start looking at doing some events at the house, and just stay tuned for that.
That's great. That's great. I'm going to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird too. When this film came out in May, it's like really the right kickoff of COVID. So it's because honestly, we had some theater planned, and we wanted to do some meet and greets, and so we had to adapt with this film, just like even Hollywood big budget like Leonardo DiCaprio films were doing. Like you had to adjust to what COVID was doing, and so that kind of threw a wrench in it, and we're just kind of adapting. And so it helped us in a way and it hurt us in a way, but we're honored that as many people have seen the documentary as they have. And it's cool right now, like you mentioned earlier, if you have Amazon Prime, which I think 100% of the world should, because Christmas shopping, you get free shipping on everything. So you can go watch the House in Between right now. And really, we just want people to watch it, to take Alice's story in, to understand that this is not a jump scare. This is not fake. This is a woman. This is her true story, something we've documented over a decade. And we would love people to just take a look at it, watch the documentary, and leave us a review, whether it's good or bad. And we know that not everybody will love this documentary, and that's okay. But it is genuine. These are real people, even to the guy who comes and checks the foundation and spits his dip out. I mean, that's true Mississippi right there. So these are not actors, not actresses. This is real life. And this is what a true haunting can do and how it can affect a person.
I want to interject real quick because John hit on some really good points there. Some of the reviews we got, some of them are really nasty, mean, and we're okay. We're okay with we're definitely okay with reviews if people don't like the film. Some of them got personal against Miss Alice, which I wanted to come across the screen and strangle a few people for going after her like that. But the thing is, some of the other reviews that weren't so. Not the ones that were hostile, but there were some reviews that were where people were a little bit disappointed. And most of those are because people went into this film with the wrong mindset. They were thinking they were going to go see The Conjuring or The Exorcist or a film that's going to be, a lot of jump scenes with popcorn flying out of your. But this film is the real deal. It's actual, it's actual investigating. It's science. It's all the parts where. And George, this. When you investigate, some of that stuff's really boring, man. If you're especially when you're analyzing stuff, you can fall asleep at the wheel, man. Some of that stuff,
Yeah.
So I think that's where some of the not so good reviews came in. But I will say this: we got a lot more good reviews than we did the not so good.
Right, and if I can interject, if I may quickly, is what I loved about it was the fact that you guys were like going through the stairs, underneath the stairs with back to the baseball. You guys were trying to debunk everything as you like. It was a real investigation, and that's where some people, if somebody was negative, they should be. That's ridiculous because what you guys provided was a real investigation from point 1 all the way to point Z. It was a real investigation. You guys debunked. You guys went through everything professionally, how you're supposed to investigate. There was respect. I mean, you guys worked I love to say this word. You guys worked how we're supposed to work when we paranormal investigate. Everybody was there. Everybody showed love. I mean, for their passion. So
and you see the authenticity because what you're talking about there, when Kendall and Steve came over that night with the magnet and tested under the stairs and everything, we had zero clue that they were going to do that.
Yeah,
they did that. They did that. They busted in there with cameras and showed that because again, Steve was not going to put his reputation on the line. This was a long process. And they didn't know us that well. We only met a few times, so we could be bullshitting. Sorry,
Right.
I don't know if that language is acceptable or not, but
5,000.
so they had to do their due diligence and protect themselves. But what's neat is you get to see exactly what they came in and did. Me and Brad were sitting there watching. I mean, that's real. That's not a take 2, take 3. It's just the raw documentation of a true investigation, and you get to see the process. And yes, it's not as sexy as it seems on a Ghost Adventures episode when they film for 3 or 4 days and they condense it to 45 minutes. So it's a little bit different, but it's a different take, and I think it's refreshing. And so people who are into the field or kind of are into like mystery and crime and stuff like that, they can appreciate the angle that we took.
I do. Natalie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it says it all when you watch from the beginning and that voicemail that Alice leaves for Steve Gonzalez, and just to watch it go forward movement from there. But then, seeing everybody and then realizing what's really going on, and the years leading up to that voicemail, and then seeing it all come together, and the different professionals that were brought in to try to debunk things, and did debunk things, and leading all the way up to the end. And then Brad, your big catch. It really is a film. If you have not seen The House in Between, go check it out now. It's on many platforms. It is a #1 chart topper. It's been the rave of everywhere I looked this year. And again, now it's on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can go watch it on Amazon Prime as well. It looks like we've got a guest watching this evening. Tyra Clark, she said, I've never seen this, but I'm definitely going to now. So Tyra's going to be watching it this evening. Everyone else out there, if you have not seen it, again, please go watch The House in Between. And tomorrow night, we are also going to have Vera and Kendall Whelpton on. We're going to have a back-to-back The House in Between Texas Paracon Talks. So we're really excited. I mean, we've got a full 2 nights, really cool things. And we've got a couple of surprises up our sleeve as well. So you definitely don't want to miss the rest of the show tonight and tomorrow night, as well. Is if anyone has any questions, please ask in the feed. We'll pop them up here. And I know John and Brad would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And before we dive back into things to come and what to expect for you, Brad, and you, John, as well. Everybody, if you have not gotten your tickets yet for Texas Paracon next year, August 13th and 14th, 2021, in Big Dallas, Texas, at the Dallas Convention Center, is going to be the paranormal event of the year. You can get your tickets. There are 4 different ticket levels. There are opportunities for sponsorship. There are also opportunities to get a vendor merch booth. We're all going to be there. I know when Texas Paracon was first born, actually, Brad and John and The House in Between, y'all were one of the first talent lineup, and you've really helped bring this event together and kick it off. So the biggest thanks from myself to both of you for all of your support for Texas Paracon. Yeah.
Well, I love it. And that's such a huge take on that you're doing too, to put it on an event like this and do it. I mean, it's like the Woodstock,
Exactly.
there's a lot that goes into it. So we're honored to be a part of it. We're glad to be some of the first to jump on that bandwagon. And August 2021, at least we have something to look forward to.
Exactly. And I've said that to Natalie a couple of times. She's given everybody, like you said, Woodstock. I compare it to the Stanley Cup, World Series, and the Super Bowl all in one little arena. I mean, we all have, like you said, we all been dealing with a bunch of crud in 2020. At least we all, as para unity, if you want to believe in it or not, but I do. We have something to look forward to be among good people, really good people, and it's something to look forward to in 2021. So I can't wait to meet both of y'all. That's the honest to God truth, man.
Looking forward to meeting you. I also want to thank Natalie, because Natalie, you've been instrumental in helping us share the film and our links, and so you're like a champion in our eyes too, man. And we appreciate George, you too. You guys sharing our stuff, man. I mean, it's all about give and take, man. All love,
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Well, if you have not, like she was just saying about 2021 at the Paracon next year, Dallas Paracon, you got to meet these guys. I mean, there's so many people to meet, but these two gentlemen right here, I mean, come on. I mean, they're so down to earth. I mean, I that's the thing that I have to say about you guys is the fact that everything you've done and provided for us as paranormal people, you guys are just normal, down to earth, grounded. And it's fun to watch you guys on Facebook. I mean, you guys are just normal guys, and it's so cool to see.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're for years, like for me, it's 5, and John's a lot longer. But like we didn't. I can speak for myself. Before the film came out, I didn't know any of y'all existed, and that's not a slight. That's just I was so like focused on what I was doing there, but I had no idea there was all these Facebook groups and paranormal. I knew there were paranormal teams around, but I didn't realize like the I guess the magnitude of how many Facebook teams and groups and Facebook and so we're definitely. I mean, we're no different than anybody. We just happen to have cameras follow us around, throughout the film, and that whole thing, of course, is different. But totally, man, we're just as down to earth as anybody else. I mean, nothing's changed me.
It's refreshing.
No, not at all. And again, it's everybody that's involved with Steve and Kendall and Vera, Mike Peoples, the sound. I mean, everybody. Corey Frost, the editor. I mean, all these people make it look so amazing. I mean, in cinematography and how it's packaged with a nice bow, marketing is what I do. Yeah. So it makes it easy to watch. And it's all about the great people who do the things. Like, for example, the guy, Mike Flanagan, who does the Haunting at Hill House and Bly Manor on Netflix. That's such a beautiful show. And he makes things easy to watch. So the cinematographer with Kendall and then Steve Gonzalez with his view and his vision, everything they put together with Alice's story. I mean, that's what you get from the House in Between. So it makes me and Brad look like rock stars. So we appreciate them.
Exactly. I want to shout out Vera Whelpton too. Vera. I mean, she was like behind the scenes a lot throughout this film, but she put in so many hours, man. And because she produced and she was part of one of the producers. And a lot of what you see in this film was because of Vera. She just busted it behind the scenes. So I just wanted to make sure she got some recognition as well. And Corey Frost, by the way, our editor, is an Emmy Award nominee for a sports documentary that he did. So our editor is pretty good too.
Yeah. The board that you see in the trailer and in the documentary with the red string that looks so cool, that is Vera's painstaking hours of process putting that together. So there is a lot of behind the scenes time that goes involved, and with everybody having families and everything else that goes on, and you got to think about it too. This was not our main project. This is not like a big studio said, "All right, guys, we're going to give you $100,000 each. Y'all rock this." This is like in between of us doing our normal jobs and Kendall doing his normal filming and everybody else. So this was a project that was in between a lot of stuff, and for it to come out like it did and all the hours put together, it's I will never forget the time that we got the trailer sent to us, the final trailer, and we were able to share it. It was like Christmas morning, and I was like 5 years old. It was like a tear rolling down slowly. It was so cool to be able to share this with the world and for people to be actually like watch the trailer and see this project.
Did you guys realize how hard it is to keep a secret for 2.5 years? I mean, that's insane, man. We were finally able to, like, Steve Gonzalez was like, "All right, let's go. Let's do it, man." We were like doing cartwheels in our yards.
Man.
It was like, all right, we finally get to share what we've been doing the last couple of years.
Well, you guys, you suck because you know what? We all didn't know about nothing. It was so quiet out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Natalie. I thought I might have interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, but I will say that, Vera is on the talent lineup as well at Texas Paracon with Kendall Whelpton. They're both producers of the film, and we have brought her in, and Kendall and Vera are talking about to be in production in the paranormal. And, I completely agree. And all of that hard work, it just really shines through the film. I mean, it's just put together so elevated, and the content is, again, I just can't express it enough and stress it enough for whoever has not seen The House in Between. You've got to go watch The House in Between tonight.
And you know what? Yes. You may find something in that documentary because, like, what Johnny was. If I could say Johnny, sorry about that. If like John
that's what my brother always called me. Keep it coming. Yeah.
Right on. When Johnny was saying this is, you know what? You may see something on that documentary that no one else has seen. You could be the paranormal investigator, watch it 5,000-6,000 times. If you watch it, you may see something that no one else has picked up as a paranormal investigator. That's what's so cool about it. Cause I try, man. I keep trying. And I'm like, they already got everything. But that's one of the things though. It's like you said, you can watch it tonight, tomorrow. And I'm just being honest. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's that good, and you're going to want more, and you're going to want a part 2.
Well, it's cool. And we appreciate that too. And it's cool to see, like, so on Amazon Prime, because obviously I look at our stuff.
Yes,
to see the amount of reviews, because I think we have like over 3,000 reviews on Amazon, which is crazy. Because like you go to movies like Inception with like Leo, and like these big Hollywood movies, and they don't even have that many reviews. It's cool because it's created such a conversation. And again, for people who are in the paranormal field, people who are not in the paranormal field, it's cool to get them to just kind of dip their toes in the water and watch this film, because whether you're in science, whether you're in the paranormal, or you're just in the middle, it's opened a whole conversation for the field. And I think that's what we need, because we're all trying to push the paranormal field forward. We're trying to get authenticity and credibility into what we do. We want to be taken seriously. So I think that this film, this documentary really pushes us forward in that fashion.
And you're absolutely right, because I mean, the way that it was put together, like you said, you took a step by step. We were actually in the investigation as you were filming it. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but it was just perfectly fine. Hey, Brad, I wanted to ask you a question. This is off subject. How are you doing? I saw something today about your eye.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, you're good. I don't mind talking about it. Yeah, I had back in September. I had I thought I had pink eye. I thought it was pink eye, and then I'm like a lot of guys. I'm stubborn. I don't like to go to the doctor. And then I went to bed on a Tuesday night, and on a Wednesday morning when I woke up, I lost like 80% of vision in my eye. I was basically blind.
Yeah.
And long story short, it's called anterior uveitis.
Wow.
And so thank God I went to a specialist, and this guy I posted it earlier, Dr. Richardson, literally saved my eyesight. It's fully restored now. I just got the green light to come off the steroids, and so praise God to that, man. It was a scary situation for real.
Oh, I just got chills, and like I said, I hope you didn't. I hope that I don't get this off camera where I was able not to bring that up. But I just want to say that when I saw you going on,
no, I appreciate you. No, I don't mind at all. I appreciate you asking for real.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you're good. I really am.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. But go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, absolutely. I speak for both of us, George, and just like you said, I have seen it as well. Been following you, and I know that you've been, talking about it ever since it's happened, and I believe that a part of that is being able to help other people in similar situations and giving them hope.
You just hit it right on the head. I do that for a reason. I like to share that because everybody else is going through the same thing. They can see my story and know that hey, it's not guaranteed you're going to stay blind. Just go get it taken care of and go to a specialist. Don't do what I did. I almost procrastinated too long. The doctor said if I would have went one more day, I probably would have never recovered that eyesight.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
That is crazy, man. Do you guys have stuff coming up other than what we've been talking about? What do you guys got going on for coming up this weekend? Are you guys investigating anything exciting that you want to share with all of us?
Man, it's tough right now. John's got a lot of kids over there, and he's his job. I mean, how many restaurants are you over, John? You got a ton of them.
I don't really know. I lost count, man.
I mean, he's got like 20 or something like restaurants he's over, and but I got the Flumeri events with Natalie, who's also with Flumeri. We got some cool events. I got one coming up on January 23rd with my guy Mustafa from Ghost Hunters. He'll be with me, and Sabrina, who's also in the film with us.
Yeah.
She'll be there. So we're excited, really excited about that. And Natalie, you got some stuff coming up even before that with Flumeri.
Yeah. So we've got on December 12th at Berkeley Plantation, Charles City, Virginia. You can get on Eventbrite and grab some tickets to that, as well as the event that Brad was referring to. And then I know January 16th at Park Hotel, I'll be with Daryl Marston, who's also going to be at Texas Paracon. And a big shout out to Flumeri Promotions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, Ray Savino does a great job.
Yeah.
He keeps everybody busy, booking these things all over the place, all over the country, man. So Flumeri is going to crush it in 2021. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. So, Brad, tell us a little bit more about the Flumeri Promotions event that you have in January with Sabrina from the House in Between and Mustafa from Ghost Hunters.
Right, it's going to be at a abandoned funeral home. I've actually investigated this place once before. It's in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and is run by Donald Martin, who co-founded Southern Paranormal. Great guy, and rest in peace to Doyle Goss. That was his good friend, and Doyle also founded Southern Paranormal. We lost him earlier in the year to a heart attack. Great guy, heart attack. But yeah, the event's going to be at an abandoned funeral home. And last time I was up there, we had some crazy stuff happen. One of the craziest disembodied voices I ever heard was up in this abandoned funeral home. It's very big. It's a very big venue. And of course, Mustafa's coming down, Sabrina, and I think Sabrina was with us last time we were there. But I'm excited because it's a huge venue. So we can get a lot of people in there and still be safe with COVID because there's enough room to social distance. But yeah, I'm really excited. That's the next one for me, January 23rd, and we share the links to the Eventbrite links underneath our Facebook posts for tickets.
That's awesome.
Yes. So if anyone's interested in those events, you can go to the Flumeri Promotions LLC Facebook page, and all of the links to those events are directly on Flumeri, as well as, shared on our social media sites as well. Well, I'm just really looking forward to 2021, these events, meeting both of you in person. I've met in person, and George, you're awesome. You're even more spectacular in person.
No.
I'm excited because George, you're going to be at Texas Paracon too, aren't you?
That's all I got to talk about. You guys are like I'm like intrigued. Like I wish I could buy tickets to all you guys' events, But I'm in California, but yeah, I can't wait to go. I mean, just to be a part of the unity of just people. I like I said, I'm looking forward to 2021 because of the Dallas Texas Paracon. I mean, come on, Natalie, you put something together. Like I said, and I say it all the time, you put something together that we all have something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And you're doing it. To me, I think you're doing what this paranormal field needs is to be professional, and you're doing it professional, and that's what matters. That's what I'm digging on it.
So. She's landing the big names too, man. Steve Gonzalez is going to be there.
I know. Come on.
I think Grant Wilson's coming too, right, Natalie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Grant Wilson is going to be there. You can look at the full talent lineup on TexasParacon.com. Yep. We've got the House in Between coming out. We've got the Ghost Hunters coming out. We've got the Holzer Files coming out. Shane Pittman, Cindy Kaza, Dave Schrader, and
Nick Groff.
One that's not announced yet. Yes, G Crew, Nick Groff. I'm getting excited because I'm about to do a reveal.
Are you doing a reveal tonight? Do it. I don't even know.
Let's do it live on the air. Let's do it.
Do it, girl.
Right now. So you can expect some big announcements over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be adding on April Tricoli Busette from the Holzer File. She's going to be on the line, as well as the animal. If you don't know who the animal is, you'll know who the animal is. And bump, we've got Ghost Nation, Jason Hawes and Sherry DiBenedetti. And then we've also got Bloody Mary herself coming to join us. So without further ado, I will leave it there because it probably will continue after that. Yeah. You know what? I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. And I've met George, I've met Shane in person, and I'm just looking forward to all of us coming together and sharing in this event that's going to bring together not just us, but thousands of people who some are familiar with the paranormal, some are not. Some are going to experience some of this for the first time. And my hope and prayer in this event is that everybody leaves with some elevated experience that's changed their life in some positive way, that we can come together and show everybody that love and the really cool things that go into the work that we do in the paranormal field, and and the research that we do, and that, you know, these things that are unexplained, that we are starting to explain them. And, you know, again, the house in between is a perfect example of everything that we're striving for. So that's my hope for the event is just that. And I just can't wait, honestly.
I'm the same way. I don't want to interrupt these two gentlemen here. I'm excited just to be among positive people. I mean, when you get to a certain age in your life, as myself, you just want to be around good people. And to be in one building, if you really think about how deep this is going to be, where people are going to be, everybody there is good people. And I'm looking forward to that as myself. I mean, like I said, Brad and you two you guys are just amazing in my book. And it's just, for me, it's everybody. I just love positive people. I think that's what creates a long life, and I want to continue living. So I just want to keep on just meeting good people like you all. That's my goal. I can't wait.
We're looking forward to meeting you guys too. Hey, Natalie, I know when I get to Texas, I have some homework for you to do. You have to bring me to the best brisket, and the best cheese enchiladas. I got to have those two things before I leave Texas.
Wow. I just asked for blue M&Ms. I can't.
Absolutely. You got it.
Wow.
And I just want to go to Whataburger.
Yeah.
Whataburger, man. I miss those.
Wow. That's good
Well,
stuff.
you can probably expect the best brisket and the best cheese enchiladas right there at the Dallas Convention Center to be brought in. And of course, Whataburger late night runs and delivery. That's what Uber's for. So, and everybody, again, you know, Dallas Convention Center, Texas Paracon, the Omni Hotel is connected to the Dallas Convention Center. So if you're planning on going, reserve your room and get your tickets now so that you have it secured. And without further ado, speaking of the Omni Hotel,
oh, you're gonna spin it?
We need to go ahead and spin this wheel and announce the winner of the 3-night suite giveaway.
Damn.
Oh, nice.
That's so
this
nice,
lucky
man.
winner is going to have a very nice suite. I mean, I'll have one too, but that's neither here nor there.
Wow.
Natalie, you've earned it. Let's just say that you put in the work. You deserve that.
Absolutely true.
Okay.
I'm excited. This is better than watching like Wheel of Fortune.
I know, right? That's what I said earlier.
Yeah. This is the wheel, and I just wanted to thank everybody who took the time to enter and show your love and your support for Texas Paracon and being here. And I wish everybody luck in this wheel spin here. So I'm going to go ahead and press the button.
Wheel.
Before I do, I will shuffle. We've got to make this fair, so I'm just going to give it a quick shuffle.
Don't mess it up, Vanna White.
Yeah, really, man.
We love technology. Technology is awesome. This is great.
This is so cool, man.
And 3, 2, 1, spin.
This is so damn.
This is insane. I love this.
Me too.
Come on, who's the winner? Who's the winner?
Winner, chicken dinner.
Yes, sir.
I'm hungry now. You guys got.
So does it stop like by itself, or how does it stop? Does it stop randomly?
Brad, it stops in an hour. It spins for an hour. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if I got another hour, bro.
It'll stop on its own, I think, and then it'll just be a name. And it's very cool, though. You did a great job, Natalie.
Thank you.
You're welcome, young lady.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's slowing down.
That is interesting.
So cool.
It's very picky. Here we go. Hold on tight.
Zach Bagans? No.
That would suck if you won.
Right.
I mean, not that he's a bad guy. It's just like somebody who deserves it needs to win.
Oh, it's so close. It's about to announce it, though.
Bring it. Female or male? Come on.
Tammy Hendricks. Congratulations.
Tammy Hendricks.
You have
Awesome.
won the 3-night suite to Texas Paracon.
Damn. I'm
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's awesome.
everyone, legitimately Tammy Hendricks. Congratulations. So
That's a
Tammy
big win,
Hendricks,
too, man.
I will be.
Huge.
That's a big
That's a
win.
big win. That's a big
I will
win.
be contacting you tomorrow via email and or phone, Tammy Hendricks. And again, a big thank you to my co-host Schopplein tonight. A big thank you, Brad Cooney and John Bullard from The House in Between. Go ahead, get on your TV right after this broadcast and go watch The House in Between.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having us on. We appreciate it. So,
So,
good
yeah.
to talk to you guys, and I'm so excited to meet both of you in person.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate that. You guys are amazing.
Everyone have a wonderful night. And this has been another episode of our Texas Paracon Talks talk show. We will see you tomorrow night. Joining us will be our back-to-back, The House in Between, with Vera and Kendall Whelpton, producers for The House in Between, and we will get an inside look on what that was like to put this amazing documentary film together. So,
Awesome.
thank you again, everybody.
Good night,
see you
everybody.
tomorrow night.
God bless everybody out there.